Hey everybody, it's Dr. V. Welcome back to my channel. First of all, I just want to say thank you to everybody who has liked, commented, shared, subscribed. Thank you all for being here and for allowing me to be a part of your journey. I so deeply appreciate it. Secondly, I just wanted to say that if you'd like to get more information about kind of what's going on in this, for me, what I'm doing, what offerings, so on and so forth, please feel free to subscribe to my newsletter. I put the link in the community tab. It's an easy way to stay up to date. I'll send out special offers. Occasionally I'll do like a private reading just for the mailing list and send that to there. So if you want to get access to that, that's something for you to do. And final thing is that the coaching program is open for pre-sale right now, so if you're interested, there's a few different options. There's the live version, and then there's the self-study course, which is going to include everything minus like the live community aspect, so you won't get like live coaching, so to speak, but you'll get all of the videos and training videos and workbook and so on and so forth. And I'm running a pre-sale special for that. It's $79 until December 15th. After that, it goes up to its normal price. So if that's something you're interested in, please avail yourself to it. It's pretty amazing. I've been working on the content and interviews, and it has just been amazing. So anyway, I'm going to do a December overview. This is going to be a pretty easy reading. It's only going to be 8 cards, and it's going to give us an idea of what to expect for the upcoming month. So I'm using the Celtic Wisdom Tarot to start. And then I'll be using it's your Sacred Wealth Code Oracle cards, but they have archetypes, and so that's why I'm using that. So I may use some clarifiers from the Numinous Tarot if it comes up. So Spirit, please use me as a clear channel for communication. May the messages that come through be in the highest good of all those concerned. I draw a sacred circle around this space, setting my ego to the outside. May these messages serve to inspire, transform, and assist in the ascension process. I just sprayed the universe juice available at the Starry Cauldron Tarot, the Starry Cauldron. I'll post a link in the comments. So, what can we expect for the first week of December? So we have the Quest of Battle. Interesting. So this is about people going out into really looking at how to move things forward, how to move into a space after, like, this is a card of like the worst is over, okay? So this is a card of people being like, okay, we've been through the worst, like we've hit rock bottom, things have been what they are, and we're like, okay, so here's what it is. I know that sounds kind of funny, right? Things have been what they are, but it's coming to terms with it. It's coming to saying like, look, I have faced my worst fears. The worst that I could have imagined was, for instance, for some people it might be like my counterpart left, my counterpart abandoned me, they've blocked me on all social media, I have no idea what's going on in their life, and I've faced it, I've been there, I've felt it, I've felt the agony of separation, and I feel all of the stuff that comes with that. The first week is people going, okay, look, that's what happened. I did it. I've been in that space. I've faced it. I've dealt with it. It could even be that some of you are just coming to terms with it now. It could be that some people are like, it's been, maybe you've been in a space of denial around it, that you were like hoping against hope that like a miracle is going to happen. And now you're kind of maybe accepting like, okay, this is about as bad as it gets. And I'm accepting it. I'm realizing it. I'm no longer going to resist it and try and fight against it. I'm going to just go with it and surrender to what it is. That's the energy of the first week. I feel like this is an important place to be. This is like what's coming up for me, and I've shared this with you before. Some of you that are newer subscribers may not have heard me say this, but one of the jokes that we have in my family is that we'll do things like when we're afraid, right? We have this thing where it's like if it's scary, we'll do it at least once, and just to challenge that fear. So whether it's a roller coaster or like a speed water slide, which I definitely don't like, but I've done because it's part of the family processes that we do that. or it's like, you know, holding a tarantula, which I've done, or holding a snake, and things that I don't like, things that scare me, things, you know, my nieces and nephews and my kids do it too. And then our joke at the end, after it's over and we faced our fear, is we'll joke and ask each other, but did you die? And that's sort of the thing that people are coming to right now, where people are understanding, like, look, I have faced the worst. The worst thing that I could have imagined in this connection was this person leaving. They left, or they told me they didn't love me, or whatever it was for you. And you're kind of here like surviving. You're like, wow, I thought that was gonna like destroy me, but it didn't. And so I feel like a lot of people are going to start becoming aware of that. Like, yeah, that was pretty awful, but here I am surviving and shit. Like, I'm still living my life, and look at me, what a badass I am. And so that feels like that people are going to really start coming into that understanding of, I survived the worst, okay? So the archetype, wow, that comes out for this first week is the teacher. It says to know is to grow. This is knowledge, intelligent growth, oriented, trustable, understanding, communicative, passionate, prosperous, social, inspired, self-aware, generous, considerate, and virtuous. So here's the thing. Going through this has made you a better person. It's like, you know, now that you know what you know, it's caused you to grow. And so it's caused you to be more compassionate. It's caused you to be more conscious, more self-aware. You're not feeling the, you know, it's really forced you, I don't say force, but encouraged you to get into a space of being the teacher, of having learned and grown through the process, being able to take those energies out to other people, to be a teacher. Some of you may be called to be teachers, and that's important. If that's you, if you've been called to be like a spiritual teacher or a leader, or you feel like that's something that you've been led to do, that's why you went through this. You didn't go through this experience for nothing. You went through it because it was something that you needed so that you could be able to help other people, so you could guide other people along the road that they're going on. That's the thing, is that when we go through stuff, you can either become, what is the saying, you can either become bitter or you can become better. And so this is about being, what you've gone through has been literally happened to help you be a force for change in the world. Now the caution of this is that because with all things there's a shadow. People can become arrogant and overly confident. So just be conscious of that. Don't go into that space. We don't want to be spiritual teachers who lack humility. But that's what this has been about. This battle has literally been about teaching you so that you could grow. And that's what a lot of people are going to be anchoring in this first week of December. So what's going to happen the second week of December? Look at that. The King of Knowledge. The King of Knowledge would be like, I believe, like the King of Pentacles in the traditional tarot. So this is like, if you look at this, it's like energy of, you know, feeling very practical, grounded, has some traditional beliefs, financially set, feeling very abundant, secure, feels very experienced, like in the real world. This is practical experience. This is somebody who is like, has grown through the issues, the life experiences, and has really understood, has a real deep understanding about the material world, this 3D existence. Really sitting in the space of having a respect, and almost like picking up like almost this like reverential energy of the past. And by reverential, I mean just really feeling like, okay, this is sort of what has happened, has really contributed to get me to where I am, and I really appreciate that. It's helped me to grow. It's given me a sense of real great emotional anchoring, spiritual anchoring, and I feel really great about how things have happened and what has gone on. And instead of holding on to bitterness and anger or pain, people are integrating it and learning, because they're like, hey, you know what, this has taught me, it's forced me into a space of growth, and feeling a real gratitude for it. This is also a financial abundance. So this has been coming through a lot this month. I feel like for a lot of people, you're going to be achieving a financial abundance, things that you may not have expected, an inheritance, a significant job promotion, something is going to happen. So it's really important to practice gratitude practices, and opening yourself up to receive. So one of the things that I encourage is people to open their arms wide, like reaching toward the sky and just saying things like, I open myself to receive all the abundance that is rightfully mine, and with gratitude and with grace, something along those lines, whatever resonates for you. But do that a handful of times a day, and it will actually help to shift that, because I feel like a lot of you are going to experience that. The second week of December, you might really experience that kind of overflow of abundance in the material world. So be ready for that. So the archetype of the second week is the merchant, which is amazing, because like literally what I was just saying is opportunities to prosper are everywhere. This is logical, discerning, flexible, financial, psychological, creative, communicative, social, brilliant, quick, evaluative, technical, and inventive. So here's the thing. Some of you may get like inspired action or take inspired action that helps to bring in this abundance that we were talking about. This is literally looking at things and saying like, look, opportunities are everywhere. I don't lack any opportunity. There is so much available to me that I can create whatever it is that I want to create. So these two cards together are very clearly saying to me that people are going to start applying the lessons that they've learned in this connection. So some of you may have been led in the past to write about your spiritual journey through this connection. Some of you may have thought about making paintings or creating art or doing tarot readings or whatever that might be for you. But I feel like what is happening is that you're going to start to see the opportunities where before you felt like, maybe some of you felt like, I can only create abundance and prosperity if I'm in connection and partnership with my twin. Now you're going to start understanding that separation is an illusion. We're always connected on a soul level. We can start talking about quantum entanglement and all of those things. I'm not a physicist, but I know enough, as my dad used to say, I know enough to be dangerous. And that is that particles that are joined together, even when separated across great distances, still mirror the actions of the other. So the truth of the matter is that as you take steps and you grow and you heal, you are also encouraging that for your counterpart. So you're never really separate. Once you've joined together, you're never really separate. And that's just something to be conscious of, is that we're not ever really apart. And so separation is an illusion, and we have to really ascend and rise above that. And so I feel like what a lot of people are going to start understanding is that because separation is an illusion and we're never really apart from each other, that you don't feel that you're going to release the need or the attachment to being in union physically. Right now you're going to be like, okay, cool, we're unified in spirit, we're unified on spiritual planes, and I'm just going to roll with what I'm meant to do. And you're going to start seeing the opportunities unfold before you. Like for many of you, many of us, the second week of December is going to be transformative. So the third week of December, interesting. We have Revelation of Battle. That looks like there's like blood on that card, which I don't, doesn't bother me too much. But this is about an energy. This could be some depression, anxiety, maybe fear, suffering, illness, something along those lines. So I find that interesting because I'm going to look at my calendar right now. And that is right before, this is the week right before Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, I'm like a month behind, before the holidays. So some of you might experience some of that anxiety, depression. You might feel, be tempted to feel that energy because perhaps you've been like thinking about your counterpart, and you're like, if they're like in a third party connection, that you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that my counterpart is off having, preparing to have another Christmas with their karmic partner or whatever, and you start to feel depressed and feel anxious about it. But the thing of it is that it's just, it's a temporary, momentary feeling. This is saying, look, the only time that we're like, what is this saying? Like depression, and I'm not talking about like clinical depression or anything like that. I'm talking about like circumstantial, that sometimes like I think it's depression is caused by looking at the past, and anxiety is caused by looking at the future. And so here's the thing. If you're trying to control the future, if you're trying to like spend too much time thinking about what the future is going to bring, and if this is going to be, if they're ever going to come back around, or am I going to spend the next 20 holidays alone, or whatever that might be for you, it's like, get yourself out of this, that you can break through this energy on your own by recognizing that you can set yourself free from this prison that you're in. This is sort of these are feelings and experiences that are created by your own thoughts and your own belief systems. So it's like, well, how can I shift that? How can I create that? What are these thoughts bringing me further joy, or are they bringing me depression and sadness or anxiety? Are these thoughts serving me? Are these behaviors serving me? What can I do to transmute them? This third week is going to be a real opportunity for you to overcome something that you might have been struggling with for a long time. This might be something like really releasing the need to control the future, releasing the desire to try and force things to look a certain way or to fit into a certain box. I feel like for a lot of people, this is going to be a period of releasing and surrendering and being like, I don't know what the future holds, but I'm going to live my life today the best that I can live it. And hopefully that'll lead me to a wonderful future. But what I'm not going to do is sit here and obsess and worry about things that I can't control. It's an illusion to think that we can control the future or another person's free will. We cannot. All we can do is be the best versions of ourselves and create the life that we want to create in this moment. How do I want to live today? What will bring me joy and satisfaction today? How can I be more fluid and accepting and create love and act from a space of love today? Because tomorrow is not promised to any of us. And when we spend a shit ton of time focusing on the future and what we want for the future, and I'm not talking about visualizing. Visualization is great. It's fantastic. We should all be visualizing on a regular basis. I'm talking about obsessing or living in the future, living for what might happen in 6 months. That is going to keep you stuck and keep you down. So, interesting. Of course, that card would show up. The Engineer. Every problem has a solution. It says curious, productive, technical, hardworking, focused, creative, competent, practical, competitive, decisive, determined, analytical, adventurous, loyal, and generous. So the archetype for that week is literally look. It's saying, sure, there are problems here. There are anxieties. There are things that haven't worked out the way that I thought they would work out. There are things maybe, like I said, a lot of people get triggered around holidays because of family issues or being alone. Sometimes people have like these desires, like by next Christmas I'm going to be in a committed relationship, and then it doesn't happen, and then you get depressed because you're like, but all I wanted for Christmas was that, last year my Christmas wish was to have this, or whatever that might be for you. And then people spiral into depression and anxiety. And this card is saying, look, you have an aspect of yourself that can find a solution to the problem that you're creating. It's going to take some creativity and practicality and looking at things from a different angle. Every problem has a solution. Doesn't mean it's going to be an easy solution. Doesn't mean it's going to be like, happen without any difficulties. But there is a solution to your problems. So what's coming up right now is interesting because it's like, it's a saying that you can't solve a problem from the same level of consciousness that created it. So part of the solution that you're going to have to work in is about lifting your consciousness, rising above, and being able to see things from a different perspective. A lot of the problems that are causing this depression and anxiety were created at like a lower level of thinking and energy. And so doing the work to rise above that is going to help you to see things from a different perspective and a different angle. So I feel like people are going to be able to master this in a way that they haven't in the past. People might have gotten really caught in this energy of anxiety and depression in the past, and this go round, I feel like people are going to really master how to rise above that. So let's look at the final week of December, the Decider. And this is the Magician in the traditional tarot. Okay, so here's the thing, is that there's going to be some people who are going to make a decision that they're going to choose something at the end of the year. This is like the week right before New Year's coming up, and people are going to make some decisions. Okay, this is people are going to take their willpower, they're going to take their empowerment, take initiative, you start using their mental capacities to their best advantage. The visualizations and affirmations and statements. It's like people are going to be like, look, I'm going to start really being audacious in my pursuit of my goals and my happiness. Like, I'm not going to allow anything to keep me down anymore. Like, this anxiety and depression, like, I'm done with that. I'm over that. Like, I'm not doing that shit anymore. It's time for this to end. It's time for me to rise above and move forward. And this is like literally working toward creating manifesting the plans and the abundance that you want. This is like really focusing your energies on what you want. And I feel like for a lot of you, it's not going to be so much focusing on what you want romantically or even with your twin flame or any of that kind of stuff, but it's literally going to be about, what is it that I want? Remember that movie, what is it, the Notebook, where the character played by Ryan Gosling is like, what do you want? It's like people literally getting into that space with themselves and being like, what is it that you want outside of everybody else in the world, outside of your counterpart, outside of what your family expects of you, outside of anything outside of you. What is it that you want? What do you desire? And then working toward that. I see a lot of people really concentrating and working on creating vision boards and setting some really, like I keep saying, I keep getting the word audacious, like audacious goals for 2019. And people being like, I'm going to triple my income, or I'm going to, move to Australia or whatever. It's like literally people setting these like goals that seem like crazy out of reach, but doing it because they're like, I'm deciding for once and for all that I'm not going to live my life in pause anymore. I'm going to live my life and move things forward. So that is a really beautiful energy. Wow. And look at that. The archetype for that week, the Sage. The truth will set me free. It says wise, spiritual, wealthy, gracious, intuitive, inspired, devoted, expansive, self-reflective, truth-seeking, emotionally intelligent, truthful, philosophical, and charitable. So now remember, this can be for either person in the connection. If you're twin flames, you're mirroring each other, right? And so you may be experiencing this and your counterpart may be experiencing this. So even if you're not in communication, you have no idea what's going on with them, they are going to be going through the same type of process. Ideally, some of them, again, we always have free will, so they can choose to not do any of this. But I feel like for more people than not are going to be really committing to doing this work. So the truth will set me free. Here's the thing. There's going to be some people in this final month or final week of December that are going to come to a space where they just go with like, okay, here's the truth as it stands today. I can't do anything, I can't make any decisions for my life based on what may happen in the future. I'm going to make decisions based on the truth as it stands today in this moment, and that's how I'm going to get myself free. People are going to accept the truth about themselves, about life, about certain situations. So this again could be for those people. I know a lot of people in these connections have different barriers that are in play. It can be that your counterpart is in a different situation. It can be that there's what seems like a age gap that's too hard to overcome. It can be living in different parts of the country or the world, different circumstances, whatever that is for you. And the thing is that people are going to say, okay, but the truth of the situation is, at least right now in this present moment, that these barriers are in place and they're not currently moving, they're not shifting, and getting into a space of just saying, look, that's fine, that it is what it is, but I'm going to go ahead and continue living my life and doing me, doing what's best for me, and living not living my life on pause or not waiting for anything else to come about. And that's going to set people free. It's also going to, there's going to be some revelations. I'm picking up on like some spiritual revelations where people are going to start understanding things in a new way, like a spiritual ascension, where things are going to shift and come into like that aha moment where we're going to understand things in a new way, and it's going to really help to set people free and to fly into 2019 in a much more powerful, liberated way. So that is your overall reading for December. I hope that it helps and it gives you some insight. Please feel free to watch it again. I will probably watch it every week just to see what's ahead as a reminder, and I would encourage you to do the same. So I hope you enjoyed that, and if you'd like to book a private reading, all of the information on how to do that is in the description box below. So I'll talk with you all soon. Love you. Bye-bye.